Hello my Wolfpack and welcome back to another episode of our Pokemon Competitive Guide video. So today we're covering Rayquaza or Rayquaza, however you say it. I always say Rayquaza, so that's how I'm going to refer to it during this video. And this thing is just destructive. It's got base 150 in both of its attack stats, attack and special attack, meaning it can hit like a truck. It hits so hard on so many different things. Base 95 speed, which is respectable. It's not the best in Ubers, but at the same time, there's a lot of Pokemon that are around that base 90, 100 speed area, which means that Rayquaza can outspeed some Pokemon in different scenarios. Base 105 in its HP and base 90 in defense and special defense is okay. It's really good in main game, but in Ubers it is just about okay because of the massive output of damage you can get from a lot of different Pokemon there. So you do have to be very cautious with Rayquaza, ideally setting up its stats, its speed or its attack, or both ideally, to outspeed the Pokemon to hit them really hard before you're hit really hard in that scenario. Now you can live one or two hits and it depends on what the Pokemon actually are, but it's just something you do have to be cautious with Rayquaza, because that base 90 in your defense and special defense and 105 HP, it's just not quite enough to be able to make sure you live several hits. Now, you could always go for a defense investment or a special defense investment set, which I'm sure I've got later on in this video. If I haven't, then I just couldn't think of one. Anyways, before we get started, if you scroll down, click the like button, also subscribe if you haven't done so already. It really helps me out. I really appreciate it. It really causes these videos to be pushed out to different people, and I really do appreciate it. It really does make my day when I see that I'm getting new subscribers, which is absolutely fantastic. And obviously you'll get notifications of any of the future things that are coming up on the channel. So we're almost done with competitive guides, but there'll be a lot of Wi-Fi battles. There'll be the opportunity to battle me in Wi-Fi battles as well, so please do look out for that. But let's get back into the video. So first of all, we have got a Dragon Dance Life Orb Rayquaza. Now if you've been around for a long time, you know that I love these kind of sets. Dragon Dance with Life Orb can just increase that output just a little bit more, just to really hit super hard on different things. But you could always run things like Heavy Duty Boots or like Leftovers instead. Heavy Duty Boots is always going to be a really good option for Rayquaza because it just stops you taking the damage from the Stealth Rocks, which obviously you would take 25% damage from. Other moves we've got on here are Dragon Claw, powerful Dragon type attack boosted by Stab, +1 that would hit a lot of Pokemon really hard. And in Ubers there are quite a few different Dragon type Pokemon, meaning that Dragon Claw will really hit hard on different things. Stone Edge, which is a powerful Rock type attack, hits quite a few different Pokemon as well. We've got a couple of Flying type Pokemon such as Veltal that are in Ubers, and I'm sure we've got like things like Kyurem as well, which is Ice type, so if you ever need to kind of go for something other than Dragon type because you're concerned about a Fairy type, then Stone Edge can be quite a solid play to click. And then you've got V-Create, which will hit things like the Steel types that are around. I know there's, I think Zacian and Zamazenta, I think they both turn to Steel type when they've got their crown or whatever forms they have. I can't think what the forms are called off the top of their head, but yeah, the V-Create hits these Steel types for super effective damage. And V-Create, whilst it is a bit of a problem in lowering your defense, special defense, and your speed by 1, if you've set up a Dragon Dance and this is kind of a very late game where you know you're going to want to switch out the next turn, or you know that the Rayquaza is going down for some other reason, you can just V-Create and get that -1 in your speed and just obviously take that L with your damage. But with V-Create being so powerful, you can hit really hard on a lot of different Pokemon. EV's got max attack and max speed with a Adamant Nature, some more attack, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Now if you're concerned about not getting a Dragon Dart set up and just having to just do some damage, you might want to go for the Jolly Nature to have more speed and less special attack. That would allow for you to outspeed any base 100 speed Pokemon that aren't plus speed invested. Yeah, so if you want to go for that instead, you definitely can go for it, but obviously the Adamant Nature with the Dragon Dance can work really nicely because at +1 you do outspeed the vast majority of Pokemon unless they're scarfed, which can be a slight problem, but you could potentially even get to +2 in the right scenarios. Moving on to the second Rayquaza, I have gone for a Throat Spray set. Now this is a fantastic set. I love Throat Spray with Hyper Voice. Hyper Voice, obviously powerful normal type attack, base 90. Accuracy, I think there's only one ghost type in Ubers, 2 ghost types off the top of my head. There might be a couple more, but Hyper Voice Throat Spray is going to activate on the vast majority of Pokemon and hit them really hard, whilst giving you a +1 in your special attack. We've then got Draco Meteor, which is powerful dragon type attack. It will take you to -1 overall rather than -2, so you might be able to collect that second Draco Meteor afterwards as well. Obviously, if you don't want to go for Draco Meteor and you want to go for just like Dragon Pulse because you don't want that -2 in your special attack, you definitely could go for that. You could also go for like a potential mix set, so you could go for like some physical attacks and then go Draco Meteor as your dragon type move. So basically on that previous set, just rather than having Dragon Dance, go for like Hyper Voice, Draco Meteor instead of Dragon Dance and Dragon Claw. It's a bit of a quirky set, but you could potentially try it as a hybrid. Air Slash, powerful stab, flying type attack, hits a lot of Pokemon for neutral damage at least. And then Flamethrower, just for a bit more coverage, hits things like ice types, like Pheromosa. No, Pheromosa is not ice type, I always think it is, but it's not. But it would hit Pheromosa for super effective damage anyway, because it's bug type. And also hitting things like the steel types that I previously mentioned. So yeah, set up your special attack with your Hyper Voice, gives you a +1, then your Draco Meteor, Air Slash, and Flamethrower, pick the appropriate ones and just hit them hard with those. Now, I didn't mention the ability. The ability for Rayquaza is Airlock, meaning that any weather effects are got rid of. This can be really effective with teams that have Groudon or Kyogre, which I think a lot of them do in Ubers. I don't really play Ubers too often, so I don't know if that's a fact, but they seem to come out quite often when I see them in playbacks on a lot of different people's videos. So yeah, that's a potential option that you've got. It only gets Airlock as the ability, unfortunately, so it's either take it or leave it with that scenario. EVs for this Rayquaza, you've got max special attack and max speed with a timid nature, so more speed, less attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. You could go modest if you want to. I think that timid just allows you to outspeed just a couple more Pokemon, which could definitely help you in a lot of different scenarios there. In this case, because you're not setting up your speed, I think having that ability to outspeed as many Pokemon as possible naturally is better off than having that little bit more damage output from your special attack, because it's already so high and hitting so hard. Moving on to the third Rayquaza, I have got a Heavy Duty Boots default set. So, Heavy Duty Boots, as I said, really good option to run on Rayquaza regardless of the situation, because it doesn't take damage from Stealth Rocks. You've got default to get rid of any hazards, because honestly, hazards are really annoying. Hazards are incredibly annoying, which do limit the amount of switch-ins you can have. So, for example, like Pheromosa wouldn't really want to switch in unless it's running Heavy Duty Boots itself. You've got Tailwind to double the speed of your team for 4 turns, which can be really, really helpful for your team, especially if your opponent's running really fast Pokemon, like Mewtwo comes to mind. I'm trying to think of a really fast Pokemon off the top of my head, but I can't think of any. But if they're just running something, or something that's set up like Dragon Dancers, having that Tailwind could potentially be really good for, especially if you have a slower Pokemon on your team, and get them in, allows you to obviously outspeed more different Pokemon. You've then got Thunder Wave, which allows you to paralyze and half the speed of the opposing Pokemon. Now, there are pros and cons to Tailwind and pros and cons to Thunder Wave, so that's why I've run both of them on this set. You don't have to run both. You could always go for another attacking move instead of one of them and just pick one. But I like the idea of running both of them here, because they run slightly different ideas. And that Thunder Wave allows you to slow down that Pokemon and also have the chance to fully paralyze that Pokemon as well, which can be really helpful, especially with like Dragon Dance setting up, with having an increased attack stat as well, which could be really scary. Then you've got Draco Meteor. Draco Meteor, powerful dragon type attack, boosted by stab. Obviously, it does give you that -2 in your special attack, but at that point, you probably are going to want to switch out anyway, so it's not something that you necessarily have to be hugely worried about. EV-wise, gone for max HP and max special defense with a calm nature, so more special defense, less attack, and 4 EVs in special attacks. This thing is just bulky. You could go for the max HP, max defense with a bold nature if you wanted to, but it's up to you what your team needs in that scenario. Obviously, if your team doesn't have a defensive mon, go for defensive. If it doesn't have specially defensive, go for specially defensive mon. And the final Rayquaza I've gone for Dragon Ascent here. Now, Dragon Ascent, unfortunately, in the current game does not allow for you to obviously turn into your Mega. I'm not sure if it was a Mega or if it was like a Primal form, or if it's a hybrid of both. But I can't really remember of Rayquaza, if I'm completely honest. But that Dragon Ascent is just a powerful Dragon type attack. Not Dragon type, Flying type attack. which just hits really hard. It does lower your defense and special defense by 1, but if you can use it multiple times in a row, it could hit really hard on different Pokemon. Obviously, if you can't run it, I'm not sure if it's a transfer only move, but if you can't run it for any reason, you could always go for just any kind of coverage move on top, like Aqua Tail as an option, Body Slam, Crunch, just as a few that I've just mentioned off the top of my head as options there, possibly even Dragon Claw as well. On here I've put Red Card. Red Card I find really helpful in forcing a switch on your opponent's Pokemon. Even if you're not Dynamaxed yet, if they've set up a Pokemon, they hit you, it'll force them out, which can be really helpful in several different scenarios. And also, if they're hitting you whilst you're trying to set up, it again forces them out into something else, which could be helpful for you. Move-wise, Brick Break, we've gone for the Max Knuckle, increasing up the attack stat by 1 stage, Iron Head, which turns to Max Steel Spike, increasing up the defense by 1 stage, Earthquake turning to Max Quake, increasing up the special defense by 1 stage, and then Dragon Ascent, if you can run it, or an alternative flying type physical attack, maybe even Fly as an option, to go to Max Airstream to increase up your speed by 1 stage as well, so it can hit all of your main stats there to increase them, hitting it really hard on a lot of different things. And then when you're out of Dynamax, you've got a good 4 options to use for. Obviously, if you've gone for Fly instead of Dragon Ascent, then you've got 3 options to use, because Fly is not a very good option to run as just a general move in general. EV's gone for Max Stack and Max Speed with Jolly Nature, so more speed, less special attack, and 4 EVs in special defense. Or you can go for the Adamant Nature here. It's up to you what you decide to go for. But yeah, hopefully you could Dynamax and just get yourself set up and then hit really hard on a lot of different Pokemon. Anyways, that is all for today, so I hope you've enjoyed this. If you have, please do like, subscribe, and comment. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. Anyways, I'm out of here, so have a good one, and I will see you soon.